Hello and thank you for calling the Auto Glass Helpline. Today we are going to do a full replacement on this 2011 Toyota Camry. So just a heads up to all of you short form guys out there, this will be a beginning to end. So far the only thing I have skipped is my prep for the outer surface of the glass and cleaning the windows on the vehicle. So let's get set up. I'm going to start with our WRD Pro 6 handling cups, placing these one at the bottom towards the frit, one at the top, comfortable distance away for you. If you are going to purchase a WRD Pro 6 setting system, you will need to buy a fourth cup. It only comes with 3. So I'm going to grab our setting tool. As per the norm, we're going to put the top of our hook at the top of the glass. We're going to drop this guy down and align this screw with the top of our pillar and the top of the bar here, about midway, maybe a little bit lower, depending on what is comfortable for you setting. Whatever the distance is you need on this side. Going to anchor this there, head over this way, and same thing, hook at the top of the glass and then thumb at the base of the bar 90 degrees and anchor that cup. You want this bar to be as perpendicular with the edge of your glass as possible, and we're going to pull that out so we don't trip over it. Give our glass a flip here. We have already inspected this piece twice, once this morning and once just a little while ago when checking for distortions and such. Pull that little sticker off of there. Grab a scrub here and our glass cleaner. And let's see how much we have as far as contaminants go. There's a bunch of it right there. Got some fingerprints and some tape marks and all kinds of good stuff to get off of here. You can give this a scrub. You can use the melamine sponges. I am using the red Scotch-Brite. That. And our primary concern is our bonding area. So we're not too worried about this stuff that's close to the glass. We want to make sure that our bonding area is nice and clean. We got a little bit of a map down here. You can see all those fingerprints along the bottom. And you can see it through the wet here. We got a dot there, dots here, one right here on the corner. And you can see those are our urethane map along the bottom there. Give this a quick spray and a wipe down. Clean the inside here before we do our final wipe. And you can still see we got some streaking down here. Clean that off here in a second. We're going to do one more spray here initially to make sure we got all of our contaminants off of the glass, off of our bonding area at least, and it looks like we do. We'll give this one more quick wipe down, make sure we got all of our streaks out of here. Make sure you get all that glass cleaner cleaned up along that molding edge. And we'll give this a quick prime. Not on the primer list yet, working on that. Make sure we get along our glue map there. And we'll do one more lap as per the urethane manufacturer's instructions. Like so. And we are good there. Got a little bit of a breeze out here, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over to keep the dust off of our nice clean primer line. Give this a lift, and the shocks work. Very nice. So I'm going to set this one aside because we don't need it. Grab our seat covers and our dash. Our vehicle covers, courtesy of Ironhide. If you're looking for a set, I highly recommend them. They are nice and thick. Go on very easy. Takes you every bit of about 4 minutes or so once you get them worked into your routine. They are durable, and I have been beating them up quite a bit, so they definitely hold together quite well. Dash cover has these nice weighted bars in here to keep it from blowing off. Set this up here. Tuck that behind our steering wheel. Good to go there. Grab our fender covers and our engine cover. Toss that right there for the moment. And then I just take this, pinch it between myself and the vehicle while we're getting this side set up. He does have a newer system for it instead of these buckles. I just haven't been able to swap it out yet, so I'll show that here as soon as we get that swapped out. And over to this side. Come on, where are you at? There you are. I'm going to tighten that down like so. Find our center. And grab our middle strap here. Tighten this down so it pulls our fender covers up over our edges there. And then our little S carabiner here. Hook that so we are fully covered. We'll throw our engine cover up here like so. And we can put our wipers on there without getting everything wrong tool. I want that one. That one of those. Parked on the hillside, so my drawers don't want to stay closed like I would like them to, but hey, what are you gonna do? Let's throw on some gloves. I lied. The other thing I already did was remove the rear view mirror. I usually do that during our pre-inspection. That way, since I'm already in the vehicle taking pictures, we pull that and then don't have to worry about having to jump back in the vehicle. Being as much about efficiency as we can. I'm gonna pop this little rubber corner out of here, and then this one you gotta kind of yank out because this one tucks in underneath the fender right here. And popping that little nipple right there out of this little tower on the cowling. Same thing over here. You see that little tower? Just gonna grab that, give it a push. That'll pop that out, and then we're gonna drag that guy out of there as well, like so. This one give that a push and a lift. Oh, this one actually still has the little corner keepers here. So, grab our TRT, pop those guys out. Pop that guy out. And give this a push. If it won't pop out, you're gonna look for this little guy right there. You can see this. You're gonna push that in and it'll release from that little slot here. You don't want to just yank on it because you'll break these off and then it won't stay in place when you put the cowling back down. Set that aside. And it's something I've heard other companies say. They complain about how these covers fit baggy. Well, you can't make one set of covers that fits all vehicles. You want them to be a little bit baggy because you want to be able to fit more vehicles. You can complain all you want about it, but this gives you far more options as far as being able to cover more of a vehicle with a longer nose, a vehicle with a shorter nose. That's what your cross strap and this little carabiner I added here in the center is for. Hold this up and to hold up your sides. So far more options with a larger cover. You're not going to find a cover out there that fits every vehicle. So let's cut out a windshield. I'm going to grab our drill, our drag, our threader, our orange back QC, and our dash guards. Dave, why didn't you put the hood cover on yet? Well, like I said, we have a little bit of a breeze, and currently I am not doing anything on or over the hood, so I'm not all that worried about it at the moment. Hood cover will go on just before we pull the glass out of this vehicle, and then stay on until we set it. And then once we set it, we'll pull the hood cover off, because that is what the hood cover is for, to protect the hood from when you are pulling the glass or putting the glass in. Turn off our hazards there. Take our threader here, and going over the top of that, looks like we still have the little pins down there, so we're going to go to the inside, push that through. Oop. Oh, we got hung up on the hook. This is a new threader we're working on. It has a little hook right there, so if you come across a situation where you need to pull your line back through, you can. So this one, we just happened to get hung up on it when we were pulling it back through. So go back here, pull that out, lay that over there, and set that right there for the moment. Drag out your line, check your pinch weld. This one's rolled, so we're not too worried about catching on it. Still want to make sure that we don't wind up below that pinch weld. This is definitely one of the easier ones to do. So we still have our little pins here, so we're going to push that out of the way. I'm going to go between the body of that pin and the double-sided tape, because we're going to fix that and put it on the new piece of glass. Make sure we're between our molding and our glass, not between our layers of glass. Like so. Down here, and same thing, we're going to find that little pin, push that ledge out of the way there, wrap this down and around, and then make sure we are over the top of that pin. You will not be able to cut through that pin unless maybe we're using wire, which We obviously are not. Dash guards in place. And start cutting out a windshield. Now we're getting a little bit too much spin, so we'll throw the drag in here. Pull that guide pin out of there. Back up, and we'll pull across the bottom a little bit here. Stop right there. Move our bat to the other side here. Drop our guards in place and finish our cut. We're always going to finish the top cut first. That way we're sure that we don't get hung up on the headliner and cut into that. Wrap our corner here, hold our line nice and tight to the windshield so we don't cut into that pillar cover. That is our wire from our molding coming through. That is not a piece of plastic cut loose from the pillar cover there. We are free and clear on the windshield. Put all of this back. Come on. Wrap around. There we go. That. Now, oh, let's go ahead and put that away too. Now we will throw our hood cover on. Like so. It'll stay right there and lift out our glass. Out of the way. That was my mistake. Grab our little hook here that we knocked off. Find our other one, which fell off inside here, there. And go over here for a moment. Close all these drawers here because we missed one. Oh well. I'll leave that one there. I'm going to clean the tape off of this guy. Be careful you do not razor blade your finger. Clean off as much of this as possible here. Some of that stuck pretty good and some of it did not. We'll flip this over and keep our fingers out of the way here. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be clean enough. Then take our double-sided tape here. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. those. And we're going to throw these back on our glass here, or at least we were. Looks like we don't have any marks. Usually they got a little ID mark where these go. So what we'll do is we'll take these, we'll put them back in the vehicle when we're done trimming and cleaning, and then we will anchor those afterwards. Got our WRD trimming tools here in our tool caddy, also from Ironhide, to peel out this nasty old molding here as best we can. Actually, you know what, since that's kind of sticky and nasty, we are just going to trim it out of here. Just cut right through that wire. I'm gonna have to do a little vacuuming on this one because this molding is just absolutely wrecked. And as dirty and nasty as this is, we're trimming before we clean, and we're going to have some time because I'm sure there'll be a couple little primer spots here where the seam sealer gives away, so I'll have to prime that and let it sit. That'll give our glass cleaner time to evaporate. Brush all this crap out of here. Forgot my glass cleaner. And again, I know we're supposed to clean before, but with that oils and all that crap that was sticking from that old molding, want to make sure we get all that cleaned off of the upper part of the pinch weld there, so we got a nice clean area. Don't leave any little debris or anything. Take these wires and throw them up there, these ones too. So we can get some of this out of here so we don't make too big of a mess while we're trimming. See if we can pull this chunk out of here. You're gonna be uncooperative. Of course you are, because we're recording today. Wrap our corner. See all that debris from that molding. That, throw that up there. Can put our blade back in here and give this a quick brush. Stuff just stuck in here. Make sure our bonding area is nice and clean. Brush that stuff off of there. Put this stuff away. come back for all that garbage. Most of this big stuff out of here. Wrong way. I'm gonna fold that up that way. You have to clean, so you got some nasties on there as well. So next we need to primer. Don't have very many spots, so we're just going to get a little primer here. Seal that guy back up. Just have the one spot right there. And then we're actually going to put some right on this guide pin hole there, because what we're going to do is we are actually going to fill these guide pin holes so that they don't leak, because we don't have any guide pins on this. Even if we did, I would be popping them off before we set this. So we'll let that set. We do not need our dash cover anymore. Fold this guy up. Got our vacuum and a little vacuuming beforehand. Trying to be as efficient as possible. So part of the reason for this is vacuuming now while you're waiting for your primers to dry. Then you're not standing around doing nothing. You want to always try to find something to do to improve efficiency. Leave any of those little greasy bits in here so they get smashed into the carpet. Quite a few of them over here. Good practice is to always leave the vehicle in as good or better condition than you received it. A couple little stickies up here, one right there. That. And grab our pins here. We're going to drop those right in here where they were. Peel our tape off there. And this guy's a little swirl there to make sure it stays. Let's see if we got a steel hood here. If we're lucky, we do. Ironhide also gives you these little magnets that you can use to anchor the corners of your hood cover. All right. Give this a flip. And let's shoot some glue. Shooting our glue, we are using our Power Push 6000 by Meritool. Already done little snippets on this guy a few times. Definitely the smoothest running gun that I have had after using the Milwaukee for years. And this I picked up last year from them at the competition at Auto Glass Week, and it will not do the little double clutch thing where the Milwaukee spits out that extra ribbon if you twitch your finger the wrong way. So definitely the smoothest running gun. And fun fact, with their plunger, it actually uses more of the urethane, so you're wasting less urethane if you're using the entire tube. Wrap our corner. And close our bead. You can see nice closure. We don't have any gap, no light, and we got a smooth transition there. Clean that tip off there. I'm gonna grab us a fresh paper towel because since our tube's not dead, we're just gonna spit some of this out on here, and we're gonna use that in a bone to fill these holes. Because if you don't, this is where you wind up with your leak, especially if you're shooting the glass. You run the risk of missing just the edge of the bead, and then you'll wind up with a leak right there because your bead will lay right across here if you set it too low. If you fill these like so, then you don't have to worry about that leak happening. Grab our bar. Make sure all of our cups are nice and tight. Got our tape on here. And set some glass. Make sure we go under our hood. Check our height. Good there. Open our gap on this side just a little bit. Then going to make sure we set our height there. Make sure our molding is rolling up the way it should down the side. Check our gap. Pretty tight in the middle there. Looks like this piece of glass has a little bit of a different arc to it, but still okay. Put those away. Put that away. And double check our distance here. Make sure we're decked down where we want to be. This is where we're going to reach underneath here where our little pins are at. And make sure those pins are stuck. Those will be at the bottom edge. So you'll be able to pull that tape once we get the cowling on, because those will keep your glass from sliding down. There. Can remove these guys. Give this a quick shake. Fold this up and like so. Put that one back. Those guys back. Jump inside here and put our mirror back on. Make sure we're tight. Put our oil sticker back in place. Got to make sure it's even. My OCD kicking in there. And can grab these because we're done with those. And grab our cups. Those will roll up in a minute here. And put our cowling back in place. Make sure we're tucked underneath our glass like we're supposed to be. And snap it down there. Grab all of our little bits and bobs here. Put a keeper there. While we're here, we're going to stick our corner piece in. I'm going to start at the bottom down here, hold this little lip and slide it up, and then just push that over. It'll drop down alongside the glass, and then push that little nipple back into its keeper there. Put that in. Grab this one and do the same thing. Gonna hang on to that little guy, tuck it under the fender. You're going to push up while you're pulling on this to slide that up, and then again just push this over, and that little flap will tuck down alongside where it's supposed to be. Find that spot and push that little nipple back into its keeper on this side too. Throw our wipers in place here. If you're using a rattler, it does not take much to anchor those down. Go ahead and fold that guy up. Set that aside. Put our other tools away. You get in the habit of putting all your stuff back where you have it, and you're not hunting for it later. Now we can take down our iron hides, open that back up like so. Make sure we're clear on the front. Loosen that mirror, and we're just going to grab this guy and and start folding it back on itself. I usually go about the middle there, like so. Come back around, tuck this inside. Keep going around in on itself. Pin that again like we did when we were setting it up. Loosen this side. Take that off and tuck him in there. Nice and folded up. That glass cleaner and a couple paper towels. Clean our suction cup marks off the glass. And we can peel this tape. As I said, we've got the pins down on the bottom holding it in place. And you have that cowling as well holding it down, keeping it from wanting to slide down. Quick wipe down fingerprints and suction cup marks. And that is a full replacement on a 2011 Toyota Camry. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.